Hi everyone. I wanted to go through some quick USB troubleshooting steps. I know we've had some different issues in the past, and I'm still having some with different customers where the machine either stops running or can't get connected, or most importantly, doesn't finish the job. And it could be a bad USB cable, USB plug, anything like that. So I just want to show you quickly how I would test the USB, the first test I would do on your USB. So first thing is first, what you see here is the USB, this is the control board. You see here, this is now your control board may be different. You may have the older style, you may have the newer style, but their USB is going to be very similar, and all of them where you plug in your USB. And what you're going to want to make sure is the first thing you can do is see the red light. You can move your cord around just slowly and see if that light flickers. If it does not flicker, that's good. If it does flicker, well, then your problem is either your cable or the actual port itself. But here's the step I would do. First thing you want to do is go to your start button, click your start button, and then start typing in Device Manager. And you'll see it'll come up here. You're going to click on that. And then when that comes up, you're going to come down to ports. You're going to click a little arrow, expand that, and you're going to see the serial, the USB serial CH340. Mine happens to be on COM port 7. And so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to move, if you don't see that, first off, if you don't see the CH340 port there, then that obviously is going to be a big problem. You need to reinstall the drivers for that. But one of the steps that I would do is you want to just move your cable left, make sure that, and you're going to keep your eye on this port right here. So for example, if you watch my screen, if it's loose, you're going to notice the 340 go away. Do you see it going away now? And then now, when I reconnect it, it comes back in. So what's going to happen is if you move your cable around a little bit, like just kind of hold it slowly, don't move it real fast, that's not going to get you anywhere. You're going to want to move it lightly like this, and then if you move it in a certain direction and you notice that 340 goes away, then that clearly is a problem, either with your port or the cable. The first thing I would say would be to replace the cable, but you can also try and maybe hold the end here and move the end of the cable. Also, you're going to want to try the other end of this cable that goes into your computer port. Do the exact same thing, hold it different directions, and you're going to want to wait and watch for that 340. And if you have a loose connection, see on my screen it goes away, and then if you move the cable back and it comes back, well, that's your problem. And you definitely want to check the other end on your laptop, where it's going in your laptop, just the same thing, hold it up, left, right, up, down. Just hold it there for a second and give your computer time to respond to it. If you go at it real fast like this, it's not going to do anything because you don't give your computer time to respond to it. So that's the first and foremost that we have found when someone says, oh, you may have a bad cable or may have a bad port. That's the best way to test it, is to just move that cable slowly from one place to another, and you want to watch this right here. So I'm going to go through quickly another issue that I personally have run into and other people run into, and they don't realize that it's actually a problem. So I'm just going to leave this right here. Not going to use it for a second, but I want to show you something here. So me personally, if you notice here, when you load up Lightburn, whoops, let me move my screen here. Hold on. Probably don't even need this, but I'm going to put it right here. So if you notice here, do you see where it says ready? So now let me move this up here for a second here. Whoops. Hold on. If you notice when it's ready when you have it connected. And now you notice on my computer screen it says disconnected. And now it should say connected. Okay, now it says ready. So what I've done in the past, and I believe other people have too, can't say for sure, but let me just let you know, is when this says ready and it is actually running a project and it's doing something and it's running stuff, if you open another copy or if you use something that is using a COM port. So, for example, let's see if I can do this here. Whoops. Well, that's good enough, I guess. So this is the original one that is still using the port. This one here I just ran, and now it's disconnected. But in the background with Windows and the way timeouts are, it's probably still trying to connect to that port and cannot. If I do anything in this, this or in the console, or if I try and pull a command from it, it's still going to try and access that port. So it could potentially mess up your laser or your CNC. It could be the same thing with easel. It could be anything that you're using. If this is the software that you're using right now and you're running it on your machine, whether it be easel, laser Gerbil, Lightburn, whatever it is, you do not want to be trying to run other software that could be potentially using that port. For example, if I'm running easel right now and it's running my 3018 machine, and I say, oh, I'm just going to load this software right here up, and I'm going to mess with Lightburn while this is running in the background. Well, obviously Lightburn is going to try and access that port. And so I'm going to click on it and it's not going to be able to, but it could potentially interrupt the transmission that's going through. It could make it false positive as the software thinks that the burn is done. Obviously it could kick back an error, or it could just be enough where it's actually it just sends an incorrect command, or it gets all messed up when there's a part of your image that's not burning correctly, and so forth. So once again, what you want to look for is load up your device manager, look for the CH340 USB driver, and then move your cable around. Make sure on both ends of the cable going into your laptop, computer, and your control board, make sure it does not go away. And also, one thing I want to note is when the computer's running and you're running your job, if you do other things on that PC while it's doing it, you have the potential to mess something up or interrupt the transmission or anything of that nature, especially if you use another software that is like Lightburn or Laser Gerbil or whatever that uses that COM port. Now, with that being said, that still could mean, let's say you say, oh, well, I didn't run another software, wasn't doing anything, wasn't doing this, wasn't doing that. One other thing I would recommend is your power settings. So I'm going to go through this. I wasn't going to do this, but I'll do it with you. Let's see. So if you go start typing in power, and then you see here power and sleep settings. Oops, let me drag this over. Let's pull this over. So if you happen to look at yours, one of the things you don't want to do is you don't want it to go to sleep. The screen is not a big deal, but you don't want it to go to sleep. That's really important. Sometimes your computer will go to sleep and you think it's just the screen going away, and it's not. And you move the mouse, the screen comes back on, but the machine actually went to sleep. That's a big problem, because then obviously that's going to stop the transmission. And depending on the machine you're using, it may or may not realize that's what you did, and obviously give you messed up drawings. So if you click on adjust power settings, same thing here. You can choose, if you put it on whatever yours is, you click change plan settings. You can then make sure again that it does not go into sleep mode. Mine was on Sonos, whatever. Well, I want balance, yeah. And I do not want my machine to go into sleep mode at all. And so the screen's fine. So make sure that you have it, that it does not go into sleep mode. So that's another important thing. But I hope this helps you. And the two main things I hope you take from this is load up your device manager. Pay attention to this driver. Again, you type in device, click the start button. Let me get rid of this. Click the start button, start typing in device manager, click on that, comes up, go down the ports and your serial, and then wiggle your cables. That's super, super, super important. And then if that's good, just make sure that nothing else is running. You can only have one copy of Lightburn running at a time. If you have more than one, you're definitely going to have some problems with it. And that's it. Hope this helps to do a little bit of troubleshooting. And again, if you find problems with the USB cable, You'll notice if you go, you can get them at Walmart, Staples, the dollar store nowadays. You can get them pretty much anywhere. I would recommend getting a nice one. Don't go for the $2.99 one, because the extra couple dollars is not going to be worth the headache. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Have a good day.